Welcome to the Money GPS. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. A lot of topics to cover today. First things first, Europe is buying oil from Abu Dhabi to get away from that reliance on Russia. We're going to get into that first and foremost. The second thing is the financial flip. Something big is going on. The third thing is the wild markets directly connected in with that. Of course, I'll show you what's happening with bonds. The negative interest rate bonds are gone. I'll look at that and more. And the fourth thing is Russia-Ukraine fires. Something deep is happening right now. I'm going to show you some videos related to that and more. Let's begin. Right here, you could see I wanted to start with this tweet. As the hawkish bravado build over the Fed, keep in mind that the only time in history that it started a tightening campaign with the stock market this week was 1987. Okay, and he says, take your umbrella with you. So we will get into this, a lot to get into, of course, but I wanted to start with looking at a few of these factors being inflation, because that is really the topic. Inflation got you down. At least you don't live in Argentina. Well, I know some of my subscribers do live in Argentina or they have family in Argentina. And I want to know from you directly, okay? Because are these things a reality? I have heard from people all over the world. When I ask this question, I get a different perspective sometimes. So I do appreciate that. Okay. Citizens cope with the world's second highest rate by hoarding toilet paper, spending paychecks immediately. Here, 40% is normal. And while you may not see the exact same thing in the United States, UK, Australia, Canada, wherever, but I think we can learn a lot from what's happening. Not Weimar Germany, not former Yugoslavia. No. We can learn from the events that are happening today. It doesn't have to get to 1,000,000% in inflation. 40% inflation is bad enough. Okay. And I'm talking about the official numbers they put out. I have friends in the US and Spain, and they're telling me that they're going crazy with their annual inflation of 5 or 7%. Here we reach 4% every month. Welcome to Argentina, where high, nearly uncontrollable inflation is now at an estimated 55% of the last year. It is as natural as the country's juicy sirloins and sensual tango shows. Not even sure why they put that in there, but this is the way that they love to write these articles. 40% is normal. And when we get past 50, it doesn't scare us. It simply bothers us. And you hear about this from not just here in Argentina, but in other countries as well, Iran and so on. The problem with really high inflation is that people can't plan for tomorrow, because they don't know if it's going to be 50% tomorrow or is it going to be 100% tomorrow. So then everything gets messed up along the way. I've mentioned this before, but I was talking about it when inflation was much, much lower, when the currency was much stronger. And I was trying to tell people, watch out, watch it closely. And there were a few people who were saying, no, you don't know what you're talking about. This is never going to end up into a bad situation. And here we are. Okay? Because once you get inflation going, it is extremely difficult to stop. You can do so by increasing interest rates to an extremely high degree, by reining in the amount of money that you're pumping in there. But of course, when they do that, you can create a recession or worse, a depression. So it's always walking that fine line. Hoarding is a must. I came to this market and I bought as much toilet paper as I could for the month, more than 20 packs. I try to buy it all, knowing that next month it will cost more. So this is what I've talked about so many times. It's that if you know something is going to be more expensive, tomorrow, next month, 6 months, and so on, buying it today gets you there at that price right now. I mean, it's like a sale into the future. I talk about that 1,000 times. Japan readies a $48 billion package to ease inflation pain. Let me repeat that. Japan is going to pump out money in order to ease the pain of inflation. I can say that in a different way. Alcoholic drinks alcohol to ease the drunkenness. What? Yeah, that's right. But now what you came for. Abu Dhabi crude to head to Europe and replace Russian oil. Not entirely replace, of course, we know that. But maybe they'll say, I'll take a little bit. I'll take a little bit more, a little bit more. So here we have just a further description. I just think if people want to know each and every little bit of this, there isn't much to talk about, but you just see the global trade flow readjusting to reflect the changes in Russian oil supplies. Russia is Europe's biggest oil supplier, providing 26% of the EU imported oil in 2020. So we will see if this becomes more popular in the near future. I'll give you the updates. Oil updates, crude hits 2-week low. Abu Dhabi crude heading to Europe and India. This was the reason I put this here. India doubles purchases of Russian oil. They're saying, hey, I'll take your oil at a discount. Never mind. Now, with everything that's been happening, store closures, the economy weakening, and so on, I thought this was hilarious. JCPenney owners offered to buy arch rival Kohl's for $8.6 billion. Said differently, I thought this company was bankrupt. Bankrupt JCPenney is going to buy something for $8.6 billion. So in the world of massive corporations, no, you can be bankrupt and you can go through, different levels of bankruptcy, and you could go through anything apparently, and it doesn't matter. You have an unlimited amount of cash to buy whatever you want. Now take a look. This is from Jim Bianco. Okay. So what he said right here is that we're looking at the Bloomberg Global Aggregate Total Return Index for bonds. Okay. So when we see this, it tells us that this is by far, if I could pull out that highlighter, by far the worst year. Look at this, minus 10.44% as of this moment. I mean, we have nothing to compare that to in terms of return. Nothing. 1999, minus 5.17%. Now, we don't know what's going to happen throughout the rest of the year. Is that going to come up? I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. But it's just terrible, to say the least, because of what's happening in the markets. People, they didn't expect this. Outstanding amount of negative yielding corporate bonds globally. I showed you how we went into the trillions of dollars. Okay, trillions of dollars. And now that has reversed entirely. Isn't that interesting? Okay? Because of what's happening with interest rates going up, this is having a direct impact. There's something very wrong about negative interest rates. I mean, that's crazy. And now that's changing. So we'll see if this strengthens the market, or are we just going to end up flipping 6 months, a year, 2 years from now? We will see. So again, we're looking at what's happening in Shanghai with the closures and so on. This impacts the stock market. This impacts the economy. Now Beijing is seeing their cases mount, and they're doing the same thing. Are we going to see complete full lockdowns countrywide? Watch out. Now, look at what's going on in the financial markets, okay? I thought this was interesting. You could see the correlation consistently. This is the S&P 500 going up like this. And more recently, we have seen the dips. Every time, this is the amount of puts. Okay, so puts are betting that the market's going to go down. Every time this gets a little too hot and heavy, every time there's too many puts, everybody's, I need to buy puts. I believe the market's going to come down. That's usually when the market reverses. And that happened right now, as we can see. Is that, actually an indicator? Well, there are several indicators, actually. This is the 4 broad indexes showing us that, at least in a short-term time frame, the market is oversold. But realistically, it can stay oversold for a very long time. Another one to look at. This is the ETF weekly flows declining in the negative. Money is leaving ETFs. At least it was over the last little while. Higher rates are slowing home sales and hurting certain types of stocks. Of course, higher interest rates will do that to you. This is showing us the AAII bull index, essentially how many investors are bullish, how many are neutral, how many are bearish, and right now extreme bearishness, which usually indicates that it flips. And this is just showing us what is going on. This is from Freight Waves. The real victim of Shanghai's lockdown, intra-Asia trade pipeline. Movement of materials and finished products between China and key Asian suppliers takes a hit. So watch as this has a ripple effect. Okay, always big news coming out of this area. Now, really quickly, fires. And I know I've been all over the place today, but there's a reason for this, okay? So if you stayed till this point, thank you very much. Don't forget to hit that like button. Russia said that it would investigate the cause of a large fire that erupted in the early hours of the morning at an oil storage facility in the city of Bryansk, I don't know how to pronounce it, 96 miles northeast of the border with Ukraine. So you could see this right here if it's possible to see on your screen. I just draw in kind of the border to make it a little easier. Okay, so this area here is Ukraine. This is Belarus. Okay, and this is Russia, and this was the fire right there. Okay, so just to give you an idea of where it is, relatively close to the border. Some are saying that this isn't part of an attack. Here, I can show you this. It'll probably come up on your screen as well, where we can see big fire. That's a big one. Okay, latest round of mysterious fires in Russia. It looks like it's happening on both sides, doesn't it, right? I mean, are they doing this? It's kind of tactical. After multiple reported explosions, an oil depot and military base are now on fire. Okay, that's that. And then we have this. Large explosions reported at a large Russian military base. Reported strikes follow a visit by U.S. Secretary of State and the Secretary of Defense. That looks like a big one. Okay, again, I don't know. I can't verify. I'm not sure all the details. But I wanted to bring that to you because this is an unfolding story. And by the way, I've heard that there are multiple. It's not just one thing happening. Okay, that's that. I hope you appreciate it. Now, people are looking for solutions all the time. By the way, just if you appreciate the information, hit that thumbs up. People are looking for solutions. Inflation's coming all over the place. People don't know what to do with their portfolios. So one of the things that I've talked about extensively, and a lot of people don't like to hear about, other than what I talk about all the time, have the food supplies, have this and that. That's important. But if people are not understanding the importance of not relying on a single income source, particularly one that is relies on you being present in that particular location, because what if you have to take off? Like, what if your current circumstances change? You got to get going. Well, now suddenly you need to look for work. You got to get moving. Okay. Or what if you're okay, but the general region around you is not? There's so many factors. Okay. So if you're relying on that one position, that's why I've always talked about e-commerce. E-commerce is so important. Okay. If you don't have much money, if you don't have a lot to get in, you have kind of a smaller pool to work with, I have a free e-course. I literally give this away for free to help out my subscribers. Okay, there's no catch. It's free. The AmazonGPS.com. You could learn about e-commerce there. Okay, it's an entire course. And then if you've got a lot of money, if you've got maybe $1 million plus, there's a different way to look at it. Okay, you want that money. Okay, you got that money, but you want that cash flow. Well, that's a different story, because you can buy an existing e-commerce business. And that e-commerce business, you look at the track record and you can see what's going on. And then you could make that monthly income from that. And you have a business that you could later sell potentially. Okay. And these businesses, if you get the right one, it's going to be focused on products that will do well in times of difficulty. Okay, a lot there. Contact me directly if you want to know about more of that. If you're kind of the person holding on to $1 million plus kind of thing, and you're saying, well, where do I put that million of Bitcoin? Or I have 5 million of Bitcoin. Maybe I want to reduce that position a little bit, or I own too much of this particular stock. I want to reduce and I want to change my portfolio. Now's the time. You can contact me directly, and I could give you some wise words. David@themoneygps.com. That's it for this video. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.